Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well. Please do smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. My apologies, I wasn't live this morning reacting to the press conference because I didn't know it was going to be there at 11:15. Bit of a wild time. And then I've been out with like-minded Leeds fans. So big shout out to Johnny, to Dave, and to Martin as well. You know who you are, you legends. Anyway, yeah, let's move straight into this video. Just a quick shit tip of what's going on in this video. We will be discussing Daniel Farke's press conference and also looking ahead to Plymouth Argyle, which we play tomorrow night, of course, which will be on BBC One. But of course, forget that. Watch it with no sound. Watch your boy on the Just Joe watch along, which of course will be live. Yeah, so I'll stop waffling now. You're going to see the intro. Turn your speakers down. Although I've started to adjust the sound. I don't know if you've noticed, and I'm not getting any complaints on it anymore. So we might be good to go. So turn the sound up if anything, and I'll see you on the other side.
I don't care.
It's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? So let's talk about some team news first of all, folks. Leeds United will be without Dan James and Pascal Struijk, as expected, as Daniel Farke had already warned us. But one notable absentee will be Jamie Shackleton. Well, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but he's not trained today. He's got an illness, a sickness bug. You would imagine he might get left home. You can't risk that maybe spreading to the rest of the group. I'm a little bit disappointed because I would have liked to have seen Shackleton at right back because I think he plays grey in midfield like he did against Peterborough. We've seen him play the last 10-15 minutes against Bristol City in that position, and I'm of the thinking that by the end of the season he might have usurped Glenn Kamara. I love Glenn Kamara, by the way, but you know, Archie Gray's Leeds, he's generational talent kind of vibes, and I want him to now start getting some more minutes in the centre of the park. That's now going to be scuppered, if you like, and you know, I will touch on my lineup a little bit later on, but I think Byron comes in at left back, so therefore Gray's probably going to have to stay at right back. We know that Connor Roberts is ineligible because he wasn't a Leeds United player when this fixture took place previously. Of course, we drew 1-1 at home to Plymouth Argyle, which has meant there's an extra game in the calendar. Of course, it's extra content for me and for you to view, but I'd rather we didn't have to do this. But thankfully, we've got Rotherham at the weekend, so that's a home game. Rotherham are not great away from home. I don't think they've won away from home for about 5 years or something, so I'm expecting a quite comfortable game on Saturday. I know a lot of you will say, Joe, you've jinxed it, but you know, I don't believe in that shit. Plymouth will be a tough game. This is a team that have a decent home record. We've not yet faced him at home. I know we beat him in the league and drew, but I think each game has been quite comfortable. Maybe Leeds have relaxed a little bit. Morgan Whittaker hasn't done much against Leeds, and let's not forget this guy has the same amount of goals as Sammy Schmodix in the league. He's the joint top scorer with 16 goals. He has more than Armstrong, than Somerville. He knows where the back of the net is, but up to this point, he's not really tested Leeds United. But, of course, he's a key man to definitely look out for going into this fixture. Now, I do just want to dial it back a little bit and just talk about that presser again. So, obviously, Popey asked Daniel Farke about Jamie Shackleton. Obviously, he's not going to be in, but his contract's up in the summer. What does that mean for Jamie? Now, he gave a lot of praise to Jamie. He gave a lot of praise to his versatility. The fact he's Leeds through and through and been here since a kid, and clearly he's a massive supporter of the channel. And sometimes it's good to have this type of personnel around your squad. And it made me believe when he said we will look after him that he may get a new deal. Now, of course, naturally, a lot of people say you can't be giving out these charities, blah, 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 blah. Jamie Shackleton will be on next to nothing. Jamie Shackleton, if he's happy with being a utility type player that's called on in emergencies and will accept a contract on reduced terms or maybe similar to what he's got, then it would make sense to have these type of characters around the football club. Now, of course, we're not going to be offering him a long-term deal and saying, right, we're going to give you more money. That would be silly. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with Jamie. But the fact that Daniel Farke says we will look after him, clearly a massive fan. We know he's been great with his man management. We know he's been great up to this point with dealing with the squad. And if he feels that Jamie Shackleton knits some of this together, then it would make sense long-term for him to stick around. I know people will be losing their head at hearing me saying it and hearing Daniel Farke say it, but it ain't that deep. I don't think it'll have that much of a dent in the in the coffers of Leeds United to say to Jamie Shack, we're going to give you a couple more years. Be interested to see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should Jamie Shackleton, does he deserve one? Maybe not, but he did, add some value in the early parts of the season. And like I say, for squad rotation option, provided he is fit, which he's not been due to illness, that's not his fault really, is it? But he is a decent option to have. And as I've said before, he's played at right wing, he's played at left back, and he's played at right back. He played well against Ipswich, of course, which Daniel Farker mentioned as well when playing at left back. So it's sometimes nice to have them versatile players around the squad. And let's not forget, he's a Leeds United fan as well, so he gets it, he wants to be here, and he's willing to just put in the work. And I'd imagine he's bossing bleep tests and all that sort of stuff, which I know people might go, well, so what? I could boss a bleep test, but sometimes it's setting the standard in training, etc., which you know for a fact Jamie will run through brick walls for this football club. So as long as it's not on increased terms and long term and all that, I don't mind it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. He did go on to talk about what type of 11 or squad that we're going to see going into this game. I know a lot of us, myself included, when I seen the draw being either Chelsea or Villa away, I was like, just throw this game. Daniel Farker's not going to do that, and nor do I want him to. When you actually, make throwaway comments, and when you actually think about it and deep it, you can see it and say, no, we need to keep this momentum. Let's not forget we play Plymouth in a few weeks' time as well in the league, which of course is more important than this game. But what you don't want to do is give them confidence. If we went down to home park and absolutely slapped them up, let's say, that then is 3 times they've played Leeds United this season, 2 away, 1 at home, not won any of them and struggled. So I think it's important that we do that, because if we were to be beaten, then it gives them confidence going into that game. And I want Leeds United to continue this record that we've got at the minute of being unbeaten. So that means progressing into the next round of the FA Cup. And it would be nice to play Villa. It would be nice to play Chelsea and really test where we're at long term. And it'd be nice for me as a Leeds fan, and you no doubt, to have a decent cup run, like the 5th round. Nosebleed territory. So, he will make changes. I'm going to flash up my lineup now, actually, so we can have a little chinwag about it, and you can tell me what you think about it. So as you can see, I had a look at the previous lineup. He did go quite strong in that. He did go with Gruyev and Ampadu in midfield. I prefer Kamara. I'm yet to see how having 2 players that are very similar in terms of positions they pick up in Gruyev and Ampadu really come into fruition, really exciting me up to this point. I know a lot of people want to see that long term, but I'm not sure if that's how Daniel wants it to go. I'm not too sure, but I'm yet to be like, jaw drop moment with saying, yes, this really works. Unlike I have been with, say, when we've seen Ampadu and Rodon together, or when Gray's played in midfield at the start of the season, or, when Gruyev played in the 6 and we were all like, wow, this is Sergi Busquets 2.0, or when Bamford played up top, and Rutter in the 10. I've not yet seen that thing of like, right, okay, yeah, I get it. But Meslier will keep his place in goal. Gray will have to play at right back. As I said, I'd have liked to have seen him alongside Gruyev or alongside Ampadu. But with Shackleton potentially being out, I'd argue he is out, then Gray's going to stay there. Centre-back partnership will be the same that played in the in the reverse fixture where we drew 1-1, Cooper and Rodon. For me, I don't think Creswell will get that start. I thought he would have done last time, but I think the fact that Farker wants to keep this winning mentality, this winning momentum, and sees progression as a distinct possibility against Plymouth, I think he goes with that strong centre-back partnership as well. And any Cooper's out there, he played really well against Plymouth. I may just add that. And any time he's been called upon this season, he's played really well. Byron will come in at left-back. Obviously, him and Firpo really managing the minutes in there. I do think he'll go with Ampadu and Gruyev, but I'd like to see either Ampadu or Gruyev dropped and Kamara brought in. But I do think he'll go with them. I don't think Kamara, because of his pre-season, etc., if we look, whenever there's an opportunity to be rested or brought off, he is the midfielder that does get rested or brought off. I think Rutter keeps his place in the 10. Spoke during him on the presser. His youthful exuberance. He just wants to play football, Rutter. If you told him Leeds United had a game against, a charity 11 on the park tomorrow night, he'd be there. Do you know what I mean? You can see it. If you look at all the celebrations that are all together, Rutter's just like having a mad one with the fans. What a player, what a guy. And now it turns out he's got horses. Like, it's a madness. Nonto will keep his place. Daniel Farker basically said as much, even though James is out and you're thinking, right, okay, does he rotate or whatever? I think Nonto keeps his place because he mentioned playing Bamford in the cup when we played Peterborough, getting him to get into a bit of a run, a bit of a groove, a bit of an Ilya Gruyev, if you like. So he's going to give him them minutes, because if Nonto has another decent performance, we've seen in this previous fixture, he came off, he's upset, he's crying, it's not really working for me. He gets that moment, that redemption moment. He scores the winner. I said during the game, as much as I want to be comfortable, I'd like him to have the winner, and he did when we beat Bristol City 1-0. So that was a release. I think he'll rest Somerville. I think he should rest Somerville. So therefore, you know, you can still play Jayden out on the left. And then up top, Pirro. I think Bamford gets rested for this. And we need Pirro to have a similar sort of moment like Nonto had, and like Gruyev had before, and like Jayden even had in the reverse fixture. I almost feel like they're all due these moments. And the squad is, we spoke about it yesterday. Evie spoke about it being a chilly. My good friend Jonathan spoke about it being a marathon. You know, we're building up to a crescendo and having players that are called game changers, as Evie's mentioned before. You know, we're seeing that now. We're seeing that come into fruition. And I want Pirro to start to release and realise his potential within this side. Because, yes, he had a great start. Let's not forget he had 10 goals. I'm not rubbishing in his contribution. But in terms of the system, stylistically, it has looked a bit off. And hopefully that now can start to change, because we're seeing Farker adjust his system to certain individual players to make sure it all works. And I think, you know, defensively and going forward, Leeds United are tip-top at the minute. So that would be my lineup. Let me know if you'd make any changes in there. I know a lot will just say, we'll play Krez, we'll play the kids because we're not going to beat Villa and Chelsea. And I hear that. I think we probably would struggle, especially against Villa more so than Chelsea. And I probably prefer the Chelsea fixture because it's Chelsea. But then again, Villa will probably beat Chelsea, so it is what it is. It will be Villa away, and they're great at home. So yeah, I still think we need to keep up this winning momentum, right? And let's do it. Let's beat Plymouth. Just a little bit on Plymouth. Obviously, Plymouth have had a bit of an inconsistent season, hence why they find themselves in 15th. But having just come into the league with the resources that they have, it's a great season. Ipswich is not the barometer, right? Ipswich is the anomaly. If you look at Sheff Wednesday, for example, they look like they're going down, but they're 15th in the league. They've got a really good recruitment strategy, I think. You know, losing players like Finn Azaz in January and then replacing them with Fortune, Darko, JB. They've got Alfie Devine at Spurs. The young lad, I think it's Phillips, again, another on loan from Spurs. I really like their squad of players. Obviously, key man, of course, is Morgan Whittaker. We spoke about him before. 16 goals in the Championship for a team that 15th. Tells you all you need to know. Was linked to clubs in Italy, and he's a player that if Leeds United were get promoted, you know, I'd be saying, right, okay, yeah, let's bring him in, squad. But I mean, I know we've got loads of right wingers, but it's just someone that I like to look at. Not only has he got 16 goals as well, he's got 6 assists in the league, which, you know, is no mean feat. So in total, he's got 22 goal involvements. What you don't know just there is I had to pause the video for a bit while I worked that out. But yeah, 22 goal involvements for Morgan Whittaker of Plymouth, who are 15th. Again, he's had quiet games against Leeds United, but he's one of them players you've just got to watch, right? That's why, of course, Premier League clubs and Serie A clubs have been linked with. Another player to look out for is Adam Randall as well. Adam Randall was the player that scored the equaliser against Leeds United. He's a solid presence in the middle of the park for Plymouth. I think he's played 28 times and scored 4 goals in the league this season. And in order for Plymouth to get a result, he has to be on it for sure. Now, if this game was at Allen Road, I'd say with Chess we beat them. And I know you might say, well, we drew with them. But, you know, it's the replay, so obviously it has to finish. The last time we actually played at Home Park was April 2010. We won that game 2-1 with goals from Jermaine Beckford and Bradley Johnson. So, you know, it's not as if we can call on any recent history and say, oh, well, we have a great record there, unlike, you know, Bristol City, for example, just the other night. But Plymouth's home form is very, very good this season. They've played 14 times at home so far this season, winning 8 of them and drawing 3, so only lost 3 games at home. 77% of their goals have come at home as well, and they're actually undefeated in their last 8 games now. So it's not, that's the one thing that does worry me. I'm a little bit concerned about how Leeds United deal with Home Park, not in terms of an atmosphere or anything, but it's clearly where they're getting the majority of the points in the league. We've not yet faced them there yet, and I have this nag in the back of my mind of like, we've then got to go there in a couple of weeks. So for me, I want us to go there and win well. So that it then rips any confidence out of them going into the league game, which we know is much more important. One positive to consider is the fact that they've conceded at least 1 goal in the last 5 games at home. So if that means they're quite leaky, then Leeds United are a team that are definitely going to find the back of the net, provided we are at our clinical best, which has been few and far between this season. Historically, home or away, in our last 8 meetings, again, as I've said to you, the last one was back in 2010, so it's not as if it's recent history, but they haven't beaten us in 8 games. One thing's for certain is, like, we need to continue this form in February, because February is going to be tough. Obviously, we've gone to Ashton Gate, we've got a result. For me, I know this is why I don't want to throw this game. Not that Farker would, not that the players would, but I don't really want to go overly weak. I'd rather we field a strong team, because we need to keep this winning run up. We need to keep this momentum up. Of course, we've got to go away to home park. We've got to travel to Wales as well. We've got a couple of home games in there as well. Leicester and, of course, Rotherham. So, yeah, it's going to be a frantic month, really, for Leeds United. But this is where, for me, the qualities and abilities of Daniel Farker really come into play. His management of the squad that we, some say he's not good enough, he don't use his subs enough, and of course you can criticise, and that is totally fine. But up to this point, he hasn't steered us wrong for me. So I think we'll actually come through this month maybe close to 100%. Is that wild to say? I know Dale mentioned it on the final word. I hope it's not wild to say. But I do think we will win this game. But I am a little bit nervous of how it will go. But look, we've got Nonto, who has scored in his most recent game. We've got Anthony, who started in this game just the other week and also scored. Pirro owes us a decent performance. Rutter's always on fire. The defence is impenetrable at the moment. It is exemplary. Archie Gray is probably going to play, so again, that's a positive. Byram can deal with the threat of Whittaker. Melier will be good in goal, and his distribution improved more recently as well. So I do think everything is there for Leeds United. I'm a little bit apprehensive, nervous about how the game's going to go, but I am going to say it will be 2-1. It will be 2-1. I think Leeds United will actually win this game. I do think Plymouth will score. I hope they don't score first, but if they do, it might be long. But yeah, I'm going to say Leeds United progress, and we're going to play Villa, because I think Villa will beat Chelsea. But we'll have to wait and see. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching this. I know it's a pre-record, but I'm going to chill out now for the rest of the day and probably watch City Burnley in the confines of my bed. Have a nice rest and recuperation, because, of course, it's watch along tomorrow, and I'm excited to bring you that as well. And I've got my theory tomorrow, so say your prayers, yeah? Say your prayers, and hopefully I pass my theory, so I want to make sure I'm a bit relaxed for that and not knackered, because I'll miss a beat. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any live when I decide to go drop, because I always say I'm going to have a night off and I end up being here. But I will. But notification bell. I'm rambling now, I'm talking shit. Thanks always for watching, see you in a bit, peace out. Leeds is Leeds!